Welcome to Floor 1. On this set, mimics can only spawn from bronze chests, and mobs spawn in a random room every minute, so keep a note of that. These early floors actually scale really poorly, so even a DPS with strength will have trouble killing a mimic before it puts on pogs. If you have a spell, you can detect bronze mimics by casting it and trying to open the chest during the animation. If it's a mimic, it'll say, unable to execute command while casting. Note that demi-clones and pomanders such as Raisin and Dread will only drop after floor 7. The first noteworthy mob you'll run into is the Grenade. It uses the Big Burst skill, which is a small AoE around it, appearing with a delayed telegraph. Be careful when pulling multiple of these. It's always a safe play to scoot backwards slowly with the pack. Tanking this will prove lethal. The other noteworthy mob is the Behemoth. This will use Wild Horn, causing its next attack to push you back. When dropping under 40% health, it'll start casting Ecliptic Meteor, which deals lethal damage to all party members room-wide upon landing. You can avoid this with line of sight. It is possible to multi-pull these, but you need to be wary of the knockbacks and your positioning. The boss on this set actually hurts quite a bit. While it is the very first boss, do not underestimate it. Use Steel to prevent how much potions you'll have to chug for solo. It activates Mandragoras around the battlefield to jump out in a circle AoE. Don't use the big squares as a reference, as they are slightly misleading. After doing a proximity AoE, it will trigger 3 lines of Mandragoras to jump out in a set order, with the center line always being the first. Now this is where the lines on the floor come in handy. I recommend standing on these boxes in the intersections, and then sliding over after one set resolves. This leads to minimum walking time and maximum safety. This concludes the first set of Eureka Orthos. I'll see you in the next one for floors 11 to 20. Floors 11 to 20 are the easiest set in terms of mobs. You can comfortably pull nearly anything without having to worry about gimmicks. That is, except for the Sawtooth. This has a tail swipe behind it that has a late telegraph. The boss for this set is the Cloning Node. This ball commands mobs on the side to attack with large conal AoEs. To look for the safe spot, you will always want to stand right next to one of the dragons, and then look across to make sure there's not one on the exact opposite side that's ready to cast. The final pattern in each boss rotation will have it tethering to all dragons in 2 sets. Pay attention to finding the safe spot for the first set, and then just walk counterclockwise a quarter circle and you should be fine for the second set. Welcome to the XP/Aetherpool/Aetherpool Fragment farming set. There are a number of things to look out for in this set, so let's look into them. The first you'll run into is the Ordo Demolisher. When under 30% health, this will start casting a self-destruct. Either finish it off or break LOS to prevent being one-shot by this. Be wary when you multi-pull these. Next, we have the Orthonite. This is one of the more annoying ones, and I would take great caution upon pulling more than one at a time. Its electromagnetism cast is a large AoE with a late telegraph. You can outrange it or use knockback immunity to prevent yourself from getting sucked in. Getting sucked in will lead you to getting hit up by the follow-up melee attack, dealing 30,000 damage, one-shotting players at lower Aetherpool. Next is the Lesser Orthos Dragon Patrol. These are the same as those on the 20 boss, and use Swinge, a huge conal AoE that has a late showing telegraph. Be sure to stay close to them for easy dodging. Lastly, we have the Venara Patrol. these will use Scythe Tail, which is a late showing point blank AoE. Getting hit by this will deal heavy damage and stun you, and lead to the Renara using its follow-up combo on you, which will inflict lethal damage. The boss of this set is Tiamat's clone. This boss will constantly summon slow-moving heads that deal damage and apply vulnerability, and each of its attacks will also do the same. Dark Wormtail is an AoE down the middle, creating heads in the center. Dark Wormring is a side AoE, creating heads that come out from either side. Waymorn chases you with circles, creating heads on impact. There are also several circle AoEs to avoid, at which point you should be wary of head positioning. That wraps up things for the standard floors. I'll see you in the challenge floors.